fighters take the stand. From shore to shore we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore we make our stand.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Jersey Shore podcast. We have a guest that's coming on tonight, and I'll introduce him in a moment. But the first thing I want to get to is I'm sorry, I always forget this. Brought to you by the Great America's Pulse Network, the Great America's Pulse Network. And sorry, it's been a little tired. We're setting up for a big election party tomorrow, and we'll get to it at the end. We'll let everybody know about it again. Can't wait. We got Seth coming up, but let's go to the breaking news. I want to play the first clip.
President Trump saying he's ordered the Pentagon to prepare for possible military action in Nigeria if the country fails to crack down on the killing of Christians. Quote, if we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs who attack our cherished Christians. The president also weighing in on sending U.S. troops into Nigeria.
Could be. I mean, a lot of things I envisage, a lot of things. They're killing record numbers of Christians in Nigeria. And they have other countries very bad also. You know that part of the world, very bad. They're killing the Christians. They're killing them in very large numbers. I'm not going to allow that to happen.
You know, and you see that one clip there. I mean, they are. And we're going to put up a picture after this next clip, but show you the numbers. But I don't understand why across the globe we're killing people because of their faith. It doesn't matter what faith you are, Christian, Jewish, Muslim, it doesn't matter. And it seems like, I don't know, people are just losing their way. But we'll play this next clip too. So for breaking news, let's play that.
Rapper Nicki Minaj, who had this to say: we live in a country where we can freely worship God. No group should ever be persecuted for practicing the religion. We don't have to share the same beliefs in order for us to respect each other. Thank you to the president and his team for taking this seriously. So what would you like to say about this as someone who is a proud Christian and whose faith is a central part of their life?
I just say amen. You know, I made a comment the other day. Any Christian church, any Christian group or organization that is not praying for our president right now and really just continue to believe in our nation again, this has been happening for about 15.
Yes, it has been happening for a long time. It's happened a long time all over the globe with every different type of faith-based people. It's enough is enough. I mean, I'm just glad that President Trump is doing. I don't want him to send troops in. I hope he doesn't have to, but just the peace through strength. That's what I hope. He just uses that to slow it down. That's what he's been doing so far. And again, I always say this a million times. I don't agree with everything President Trump does, but I have to give him credit for what he's accomplishing now. And we'll get into that in the first segment when I bring on Nate, our guest. But I'm going to bring up the numbers right here. Let's bring up the picture of the numbers. That's 18,000 churches burned since 2009, 50,000 killed since 2009, 5 million displaced since 2009, and 7,000 killed in 2025. So that's a problem. I mean, the amount of people that are dying over there, the amount of people that are dying from fentanyl over here, and everything that Trump's doing, he's zapping the drug boats coming over. I got to give him credit for it. I really do. Getting involved in a way to where we don't get into a war at all. That's my hope, and that's what Democrats say that it's going to happen, but he hasn't yet. He's solved 8 conflicts so far. I believe it's 8. Hopefully it's going to be 9 after this. And whatever. I just got to give him credit for it. He's doing a pretty good job. So I'm going to go into my monologue for tonight. So I'm going to just say, let's call this what it is, because we're going to talk about the government shutdown. And this isn't a government shutdown. It's a Democrat shutdown. They're holding the line, not for the American people, not for the families who are struggling to pay their bills, but for their own political leverage. And you can see with Chuck Schumer. I saw the clip from him today, and I didn't have time to cut it, but it was just embarrassing. I didn't even want to play it because it was so embarrassing. And the truth is, all of it would take all it would take was seven Democrats across the aisle and vote with Republicans to keep the country running. 7, that's it. But they won't do it. And they keep lying and calling the Trump shutdown a Republican shutdown, but it's not. 53 Republicans are voting to keep it open. That's all they have in the Senate, because this isn't about American anymore. It's about control. It's about using fear, dependency, and division to keep their baseline because of the SNAP stuff, and they want to use fear and I'm telling you right now, it is definitely the Democrats. Anybody that hears it's a Republican shutdown, you're being lied to. They'll shut down the government before they shut off the flow of our tax dollars going to programs that benefit illegals instead of citizens. I mean, you saw the numbers. Well, you'll see the numbers. 59% of illegals on food stamps. Nearly half of certain refugee groups living on welfare while Americans can't even afford groceries. And I can tell you that firsthand. I mean, I work my butt off and I struggle. And I know a lot of people that do the same. And they have good paying jobs and they're struggling for everything to pay their mortgages, their taxes, and everything else. But why do our tax dollars have to go to people that shouldn't be here, that broke our laws initially to come into this country? Now, I'm all for legal immigration, but no, I'm not paying for you when you broke our laws to get in here. Come in the right way. So they're basically playing political poker with your paycheck, your safety, and your children's future. They're gambling with people's lives, all to protect their own power. And right here in New Jersey, we're living under the same broken playbook, the same Democrat machine that's wrecked Washington and is strangling Trenton to death. Our taxes are through the roof. Our small businesses are barely hanging on, and families are leaving in record numbers. I mean, it. You see the moving trucks every month. And I even told Jack Ciattarelli, who's running, we'll get into him running for governor, that if he loses, then he's paying for my U-Haul. So we'll see if he does that or not, but I expect him to win. So, but we need to flip 13 assembly seats as well. Just 13 to finally break the Democrat stronghold. 13 seats stand between freedom and bankruptcy. 13 seats between prosperity and collapse. And it doesn't stop there, because if we don't elect Jack Ciattarelli as governor, New Jersey is done, period. This is our last stand. Jack is the only candidate who understands what's at stake right now, how high the taxes are, how overregulated this state has become, how suffocating it feels to work your tail off, like I just said, and to see the government just waste your money. And that's what they're doing. And that's what Phil Murphy has done for 8 years. And Mikey Sherrill will do the same. This isn't about politics anymore. It's about survival. It's about whether the middle class has a place left in New Jersey, or whether they'll be priced out or shut down or pushed out. And so while Democrats in Washington play games with your money, and Democrats in Trenton play games with your life, we've got to make a choice. And Jack is who it is. So flip the seats, back Jack, take our state back. Because if we don't fight for New Jersey right now, there won't be anything left to fight for. So with that, we'll go into our first segment, introduce our first guest right now. So our first segment, Hammer segment, is our tax money and who the Dems are really fighting for. And I'm going to bring on our guest, Nate Thurber.
Hey, how you doing, Dan? Glad to be here, brother.
Thanks for coming on, Nate. Third time you coming on the podcast. So thanks for coming on.
It's all right, though. That's all right. You know what I mean? Look, bro, whenever you need somebody in a pinch, I'm always here. If I can figure out how to do it at the house, so I'm going to have to be in studio. But
no, it's great.
Always pleasure to be on with you, bro. We can talk forever.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm going to talk about. We'll talk about the government shutdown first, and the Democrats and how they only need 7 Democrats to vote, and they lie. because you know me, I hate mainstream media. I just can't stand them. That's why I do the podcast, because podcasts are the future. It's actually our motto. It's in there. You'll hear it when we go on break. It's the podcast of the future. But they just lie over and over again. But it's for power. And how tired are you with that?
To me, it's blatantly obvious, and that's what is tough for me to see. Now, I understand that people are stuck in their own silos of where they get their information. Like if you vote blue, no matter who, if you're a Democrat, you're gonna get your information from sources like that. And conversely, people on the right can get their sources from right-leaning sources as well. But it's like everybody just gets solid off, but like there's still an objective truth that I feel like people just want to ignore. All right, the truth is that you need 60 votes. All right, so not one party can do it entirely on their own. Not one party has a 60 majority in the Senate. So that's number one. All right, like so somebody has to come through. Now, what the Democrats are blatantly lying about, because even when they even got confronted, as much as we don't like the mainstream media, you can still get some clips, you can still gather some intel from them. Even like Jake Tapper was pushing back on like Hakeem Jeffries, but like he's like, but like you do want to fund like healthcare for illegal immigrants, like you do want to do that. It says it right here. Like you guys like, oh no, and then I forget they were talking to somebody else. It's anyway, he just politicked his way out of it, just talked his way, whatever.
Yeah,
they're talking to another politician like, oh, but it's only a small fraction. So it's like, first you're telling me that it's none. All right, no, it's not in there at all. But now when you get confronted with the truth, you either don't admit to it, or you say, oh well, it's really not that much. It's just a small fraction. But now you're being dishonest. Now you're being dishonest. Now I don't know the entire details of. I know it's just a continuing resolution with the Republicans wanting to pass, which by the way did pass the House. Like passed the House first, if I'm not mistaken.
You know how hard it is to pass the House?
Yeah, and I don't know what was the. I'm not familiar. What was the Democrat support in the House? Did they have to get Democrat support? Was it? They had to have Democrat support too. Okay. But look, if it was good enough to pass the House, if the Democrats in the House were good enough to pass that. And you get to the Senate and you need, what you said, seven. I know they need 60. I think it was 54 or 53.
Yeah, I think they need 4 more at this point.
Okay. Some Democrats did flip. I mean, either way, if the House Democrats are willing to accept it, then if it's like, and I believe it was just continuing what was already being done. I don't think there's really that much changes, and they were just going to revisit it. I believe in a few months or after the holidays or something like that. I forget what the exact details of it were, but like, look, if it's good enough for the House Democrats, then hey, House Senate, hey, let me say Senate. I said House Senate, Senate Democrats, come on,
it's
stop trying to play the blame game. Like if that's really the case, like I said, I'm just trying to be. I'm an independent. Like I'm not partisan. I'm trying to be nonpartisan on this issue. So like, look, the facts are you need 60. All right.
Yeah, it's a clean CR. It's just basically exactly what was going on. Just trying to get the government to stay open for a little longer to get past the holidays. So nothing is changing. The Republicans are not trying to change anything. It's just what is already in place. We're going to continue it for a couple more months, and then we'll get to it. We'll talk about it throughout the holidays. But people are going to run out of SNAP benefits and all that. I think they got something through where they're getting like partial. I heard.
Yeah, I think the judge. I saw something earlier today.
But it's like, fighting to pay the military, fighting to get the veterans their money. It's like
it's a shit show. Either way, however you look at it, it's a shit show. Like I don't want to see anybody going hungry. But like I understand why he should, on some levels, why he should hold the line. All right, and that's gonna make people go hungry. I'm sorry, like. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. And look, man, it's terrible. It's terrible in every aspect. That's why it's just like, hey, look, if you can get something done right now so that doesn't happen, then you probably should. Regardless if you're a D or an R. All right, like, look, right now, if you are that concerned about people going hungry and you got the power to say, all right, look, swallow my pride and just, hey, get this done and stop lying, then you probably should do that.
Well, the R's, Republicans, they're all voting for it. Every single one of them. And 13, or I think it's 14 times now, Democrats turned it down. Like they're holding people hostage. And you've seen the videos of, I forget what her name was, one sent one. She's like, this is our only leverage.
Yeah. I did see that.
You're leveraging the American people you're supposed to represent. So you don't care about them. you're going to use them for your own power, because that's that's basically what it is.
Yeah.
Because you want to give illegals, free health care. And there's a lot of other stuff, and they want to. They already passed that, as Trump calls it, the big beautiful bill. So it's done. It's passed. So now they want to add another 1.5 trillion.
Yeah.
To our debt. We're $39 trillion in debt.
And look, that's another thing coming at both of them, both of the parties. Like, look, we already in 38 trillion. I think it's 38. I don't know if we got into 39 yet. Like, we're already in debt. Like, where are we coming up with all this money for everybody else? But regular Americans, and like I said, we already got a debt that we can't pay. And we're never going to pay it. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. And it doesn't matter who's in office. The spending just goes up. Even when Trump got in, the spending for the Pentagon went from like 750 billion, which is again too high, to like 1 trillion, something like that.
Yeah,
I was just saying.
Yeah, we were $5 trillion in debt in 2000.
Well, Rand Paul, it was a Halloween costume. It was like a Facebook memory, it was like a memory or whatever. It was a Halloween costume like 2010 or like 2009, and like the debt was like $10 trillion, something like that. And like that was a Halloween costume because it was scary. All right.
Yeah. And this
it's more than double. It's like tripled, almost quadrupled
since the beginning of our country. We racked up $5 trillion in debt in the year 2000. Since the beginning of our country, and a couple of years, and then from 2000 to 2025, we're almost at 39 trillion. Bro, and that's under Republicans and Democrats alike. It's not sustainable. It's unbelievable. And why they keep kicking the can down the road, and they keep fighting for everything for power, because our country is so divided now between Democrat, Republican, and all that stuff. Now, obviously, I'm a Republican, and I think we have more core values than Democrats do now, because they went batshit crazy. I used to be a Democrat back in the day.
That's funny. We used to be a Democrat as well. I'm accused of being a Republican now. I'll tell you how it is. Ask me what the topic is. I'll tell you how I feel on it.
But, it's just common sense.
The bifurcation of America is, I don't want to say it's complete, but it sort of kind of is, especially with the silos. I always talk about that. The silos are where people get their information. It's just really, it just shows you how easy it is to manipulate people. That's why you gotta try to get as much information as you can from as many different sources from all different sides, and even some outlandish shit that we always like to talk about. We don't want to talk about them so early,
But all right. So I got 2 more clips to play in this segment. I'm going to roll the first one, because this is part of the lunacy of the government. So let's roll this one. That's the picture of how many food stamps. Look, 59% of all illegals on food stamps, and I mean, they're all from different countries. It doesn't matter. I can rattle off the country. It doesn't matter. You guys can see it. But it's how are 59% on food stamps? Like, they came here illegally. You know how much money that cost? I mean, the taxpayer, and 42% of Somalia, I see on there. But I'm sorry, but I'm not paying for it. Like, I have 2 young kids. Nate, I know you have kids. I know you go to work every day. And I go to work every day, and I beat my body up. I'm working extra hours and everything else, and I still do the podcast and everything else for this network, this great America's Pulse network. And anybody that's watching, like and subscribe, please. But it's just I personally had enough. It's like, I'm tired. I look at my paycheck and I see all the taxes coming out, and I'm like, well. No, I don't want my taxes going to somebody that shouldn't be here. I'm sorry. I can agree with you on some levels, and it's just like, what they don't understand is that that puts a strain on stress in people for that actually actual Americans. That's what I get frustrated about, is that we allow our own Americans, our own cities to be crumbling. The people that live here that are struggling, they seem to get left behind for people who are just coming across the 10 or on the books is what 10 to 15 million people actually did come to us officially on the books. There's always getaways I'm talking about during the last administration, during the Biden administration.
So I mean, like, look, that's going to put a stress on all the resorts. If you're already telling us that one, we're all in all this debt, and that the people that are already struggling here can't get help with the rents, can't get help with buying a house, can't get help with food, everything else is a stress. So electricity through the roof. We're in New Jersey. All right, all these things. All right. You're telling the people that are struggling here, actual Americans that are here struggling now, that now we can't help you out, but we got 10, 15 million people that we're just going to give everything to. And it's just like, you saw that happening in Chicago. You saw that happening in New York City, where, they're getting put up in these hotels, these nice places. And the people that were living there, the actual residents, the black residents, especially in Chicago, were going to the town hall meetings or the council meetings and complaining like, yo, look, we over here struggling. We're broke. And you giving them free everything.
Yeah, they were ripping Brandon Johnson. They were killing him.
That's what upsets me. But like, look, I'm all for like, look, people are hurting. You gotta help them. You can't help everybody. You can't pour from an empty cup. All right. And if you're not helping the people that are here now, then what are we talking about? How are you gonna help somebody else?
See, my thing, Nate, is you can't help anybody unless you can help yourself first. So, and government shouldn't be involved in it because you're taking money out of my pocket and giving it away. And that's not.
I do believe in some safety nets. I do believe in some safety nets. I think they're getting abused, but I do believe in some safety nets.
Of course, there are some, but I'm just saying. But we really don't have control under these programs unless you vote the right people in and you change the law, and that's what this shutdown is about. But it's like being on. Like I've said it before multiple times on the podcast. It's like being on an airplane, okay, and lose cabin pressure. Mask comes down. Put your mask on first because you can't.
Hey, ain't that the instructions?
Your kids can't. You can't pass out, or you won't be able to get on your kids. So if you are struggling to take care of yourself, it's like listen, I wish I could help people out as much as I can. And I do. And you do too. I see you do it all the time. And it's just, there has to be a limit. Like, don't steal from me and give it away when I'm trying my best to, to make ends meet. And we all are. Like, we're doing it. We're going to get it done. I know that, because we're strong people. But it's just,
look, I would love to see the healthcare portion of my check. I would love to say zero too. You know what I mean? They getting free healthcare. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we're sitting there, we've been put into the like, look, I have no problem paying for my healthcare. I have no problem with it. All right. I mean, but like at the same time, like other people, they just getting everything just for free. It's just like, hey, look, I'm paying for mine. All right, like this, we all can do that too. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're able body. Let's get it. Let's do that. But it's tough. It's just they were incentivized. They were incentivized to come here. I feel like there were promises made. NGOs, it wasn't some organic, just people. Those 10 to 15 million people, whatever the hell the official numbers are, it could be even higher. And I've seen people, a lot of probably say, like 20 million. Who knows? Look, I know officially it was like 10 million before the election. That being said, like no, there was an official program going on. All right, some NGOs, some United Nations type program where these people, it was some. I don't, get into
the CPT.
It was a conspiracy to get all the people to come in here. It really was. It was a destabilize. It has destabilized our country too. It's definitely helped with the bifurcation of our nation. It definitely has. We are split more than ever, and that's a central issue to that.
Yeah.
And if the supposed powers that be wanted a civil war, okay, to break up America, this is a good playbook to do that.
That's what I'm afraid of. I really am. That I'm
Mm.
afraid of something like that because
And-
how do
and
you
you
divide
know-
people more and more than just saying, "Hey, listen, you're working your butt off, and but you got to pay all these taxes." But hey, we're going to open floodgates and let all these people come in, and you're going to pay for them.
Oh, and look, and I don't want to necessarily demonize the people that came too. They were probably they were probably in shitty situations, and they said,
Sure.
"Oh, shit, you know what? Because they had maps and everything. The Red Cross had maps of how you can go through Mexico and how you can make it up from via Panama, the Darien Gap, all the way up, whatever, or Darien Pass, whatever." No, there was maps. It was definitely coordinated. So it's like, look, if you're in a shitty situation and you seen this opportunity, they letting us in, they giving all us free. I'm going.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them. But they were just pawns in a much larger game, and that's. But like, look, human nature prevails. Like, hey, look, I can get a better life if I go there. I did always get a little bit upset with the argument, like, oh, they send all these military-age men. Look, if you're going to send somebody to work, that's who you're going to send. All right, let's just say, look, I believe an overwhelming majority of people who did come were trying to get a better life. There were definitely some crazy situations where people were funded. I think some terrorism type things were kind of trying to come through, whatever. Some bad shit, of course, there was. Nothing's perfect, but no, like the overwhelming majority of people were coming to work. And if you're going to send somebody to work, you're not going to send a retiree. You're not going to send a child. You're going to send an able-bodied man. So that argument, oh, they're selling military-age men, I didn't like that so much. But if you're going to send somebody to work, that's who you're going to send.
Well, who's going to send somebody to work here, though?
Well, I mean, that was the whole thing, because the immigrants would come here and then send money back home. Well, immigrants have been doing that forever, whether they come from down there, whether it's the Philippines or it does not necessarily has to be a border situation.
But the military age men were what big concern was. It was China sending.
See now, look, now I'm glad you said that, because there was a legit article. There's like 30,000 of them. Who aren't all military age men. They were in like sophisticated camps. Like it was like well funded. Like I say, allegedly the story went like this, funded by the Chinese government or whatever. Yeah, but no, that was like a legit story, and they were definitely on their way up here. All right, so it was not like entirely just people trying to get work. That's where, like, look, it was both sides were wrong with that. We're like, oh no, it's just people trying to get help, and the other side was like, oh no, they're all terrorists. Like, look, it was a mix of both.
Well, that was one of the concerns really me. That was the biggest story. It was the Chinese and the military. No, you're not allowed to leave the CCP unless they allow you to. So you're sending military age men over here, and they're letting you come in. There's a reason. Then you had the spy balloons, you had everything else going on with it, with China. But yeah, we gotta keep moving on. I got 2 more clips to play, so let's roll the first one. So we're gonna get
Arctic Frost was the vehicle by which FBI agents and DOJ prosecutors could improperly investigate the entire Republican political apparatus. This was clearly a fishing expedition.
And that's Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley exposing the level of unchecked power Special Prosecutor Jack Smith had during his so-called Arctic Frost investigation, as Smith sought nearly 200 subpoenas to track the phone records of Republicans. All of them appeared to be directed toward Republicans and staunch supporters of President Trump. No other reason.
See, now that right there, it's another thing with wasting taxpayer dollars, but it was the Democrats going at the Republicans. Now, listen, I know it's a dirty game, all politics, so I'm sure it goes back and forth. But the latest we've seen is unprecedented. What from the Obama administration to now, they're finding out like they're tracking phone records, and they're going after. They went to Verizon, they went to AT&T, and they wanted like it was like 200 plus Republicans or something like that. They wanted their phone records. It's like, how do you do that for no reason? They were all Trump supporters. I mean, it was everything about Trump. Can't let them in.
Because it was Special Counsel Jack Smith, right? That's who did that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, look, what I find discouraging is like, obviously they both do it. But like, what I find discouraging is like, it's not necessarily they both do it, but like, as far as what the Democrats have done towards Trump, like Obama definitely spied on his campaign. All right, prior to him taking off, I believe after he won the election, or even he bugged Trump Tower or something like that, and he lied. The FBI lied. I forget. Jim Dorian always said like 15 times to the FISA court to get that warrant, something like that. All right, but it's like whether it's spying on that, the bullshit prosecutions, like all of them, from how much Mar-a-Lago was worth, from the 34 felonies that they can't stop repeating. Like they were literally all, if you really look at the details of all of them, like it was a witch hunt. It really was. They really were just making stuff up or just bending the laws or establishing rules. So like that, the King one with the civil case, for 1 year, we're going to allow anybody to go back. Their statute of limitations doesn't apply. She's the only one that comes back. Now he owes her $80 million or whatever. Like, look, it was clear to see. But what concerns me is that like, Democrats will just ignore that and just say and will scream the loudest. Like, had this been the Trump administration who had done this, they'd have been screaming the loudest how terrible it was. This, unfortunately, you see it on Fox News. It probably wasn't even covered on CNN or anything like that. It'll be a non-issue for any Democrats or anything like that. But the moment Republicans do anything remotely similar to this, it's the end of democracy. It's existentialism. It's we're going to die. I can't believe this. Like, no, they're ruining everything. This is not. They just ignore everything that they've done to Trump, his family, his lawyers. No, if you really want to be honest, you just take a step back and look at it. It's disingenuous. And again, this is just more proof that, like, look, they have been going against the Republicans. They've been using the DOJ. They've been using the apparatus for political means. All right, exactly what we're not supposed to be doing in our so-called republic. But that's not going to be a threat to democracy to them. So, bro, I mean, unfortunately, it's just going to be a nothing burger. But again, it goes to show you that, like, look, it is, and they were doing that. They did have
nothing will probably come. Yeah, nothing will probably come of it. Even though they can prove it. But I said this a dozen times on the podcast with Trump. I mean, the guy, we talked about it earlier on the phone. The guy, he didn't have to run for president, but he was rich. He could be retired, sitting on the beach, playing golf, drinking Mai Tais, whatever he wanted to do. Yeah. But he decided to run for president, and he did, and because of course he has an ego, and he wants to accomplish things. I mean, you want a leader that has an ego. You want something like that.
On some level, you do.
Yeah, it has something that wants to accomplish, and he wants to leave a legacy for himself. And then after he won the first election, and then after what they did to him afterwards, they tried to bankrupt him. Then they tried to throw him in jail. Then they tried to smear him. They tried to kill him. And then the guy kept on coming. I got to give him credit for it. I got to give credit where credit's due. That's
he did show something like that's a lot of resiliency from everything from, like you said, from 2016. Right? Not even forget about it. We even go back to the primary. How many candidates were in the Republican primary in like 2016? Like how many? Wasn't like it was in the teens, wasn't it? Like 15, 16.
When it started, something like that, yeah.
But in the initial stages, when he was going against like Jeb Bush, I think Ted Cruz too at the time.
Yeah,
and a bunch of
Rubio was in there.
But I know it was a huge field. It was a huge field at the time. He went through all of that, like you. And I don't repeat everything you just said, but it definitely shows a resiliency. And you know what? He could have sat back. I think you're right. But he does have that ego, and I think he wants to be remembered for something great. That's why, we were talking about earlier about him trying to end all those conflicts and everything like that. I don't know the details and all of them, but even so, even if it is true or not true. Well, at least what he's trying to get off is look, he wants to be remembered as a good guy, and I do believe that. Does that mean he does good things to be remembered as a good thing? Yeah, probably. But oh well, if that means he's doing good things, I'll take it. You know what? And if that feeds into his ego, well, whatever. If good things get done because of it, so be it. I mean, people gotta get out of their silos. Stop thinking he's a racist. Stop thinking of all these terrible things that the left might say about him. Don't think he's God neither. I don't think he's reincarnate. He's not that, but. Look, when he does good things, and I think look, he will do good things for the sake of him trying to at least get his name remembered in a good way, because he does. Look, there's big Trump across the top of his buildings. Of course he does.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever.
Well, now I'll end this segment with this last thing. When I was challenged to run for office, and I did, one of the main things I wanted to make a better future for my children, and I'm telling you, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if I were to do something good and change things for the better for my kids, when I die, how are my kids going to remember me? My dad, changed this. So yeah, of course, it's part of your ego. Like my daddy did something for me. I'm laying on my deathbed and they said, "Dad, you did good. You did this." I mean, yeah. I mean,
that'd be the way to go.
Yeah, it's. I guess you can call it ego, or you can call it, but it's not really hubris, But it's just it's just something that you're like, yeah, I actually did something good.
Oh, man, just want to leave the world better than the way you found it.
Yeah, exactly.
Something simple like that, bro. And that's all we can all ask for. I think we all should strive for that. And you know what? I think the world would be a better place.
All right, but well, with that, we're going to take our first break.
Perfect.
The APN's The Pulse podcast is hosted by Alexandra Levine from the Alexandra Levine Life podcast. and Damon Galdo from the Jersey Shore podcast. And Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner podcast. Also, there will be 2 additional guests on every episode. The Pulse is live every Wednesday at 8 p.m.
All right, Nate. So welcome back to Hammer 2. So Hammer 2, this is Battle, New Jersey, 13 seats. We need 13 seats for assembly. And we'll get into Jack Ciattarelli in the last segment, but we'll start bringing up some picks here. So we have, a bunch of people run up. We got Lawrence Moore right here, and he's a running mate of Chris Conwell in LD3. So, there we go. And that's actually where I live in Gloucester County, part of my district. So I think they have a very good shot of winning. Obviously, they probably do because they're running so many attack ads against these guys. I've never seen so many. Every time I'm home, I go on YouTube because YouTube knows where you're at. It's like, boom, pops right
Always.
up.
Always.
I would see one on the Food Network. So I'm like,
Hulu, Paramount.
Yeah.
I see them. I see not for you guys. I'm in LD4.
Yeah.
But no, I see them for all of them.
Yeah. And then
let's
go to the next LD4. We got Amanda Epizio.
Yeah,
We saw her yesterday. We were at the event for her.
They're always attacking her in my district because she's running in mine.
Yeah. And then her running mate, nope, that's Jack and Pete. I guess we don't have
Jerry. Jerry McManus.
Jerry McManus. So I guess we don't have a picture for Jerry. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jerry.
Sorry, Jerry.
But she's
better. That's a better picture. Anyway. With all due respect, Jerry, that's a better picture anyway.
Yeah. So and then we actually have this is LD6. This is Jack and Pete.
Yeah. Jack and Pete. I know them a little bit. Being their treasurer, being their treasurer and everything, taking care of the money, which everything's by the books. Want to let everybody know. Ain't no funny business. Everything's filed. Even filed today. The 72, 24-hour did all that like I'm supposed to, and we're good to go.
Well, there you go. So they got Jack and Pete. And then
so votejackandpete.com. It's the last day. We gotta get my cousin and we gotta get them in there tomorrow. Come on.
Yeah, definitely vote Jack.
LD6.
Vote for all of them. And you got Constance and Ditzel and Nielsen Gonzalez, LD5. Now I've never seen
it's more
people running for assembly. Regular people, never held office, that at regular jobs or they're retired, that wanted to step up and do something to help change New Jersey. And this is what it's all about. And these people are trying to change New Jersey, and I've seen them work their butts off. They really have. I
can speak for Pete and Jack because obviously I'm involved with their campaign. For the most part, it's all them. But no, and like you said, these are regular people. Like these are they definitely are. Like Pete just kind of like, all right, look, let's go. I want to make things better. I'm going to step up. And I've met Constance and Ditzel. Constance and Ditzel. I always say that Ditzel and good. Sorry, Constance. And Nilsa. But no, look, I've met them at several events. Same with the other people you showed up there, Chris and them, Amanda and them. But they're just regular people, like you said. These are not politicians. These are not career politicians. I did kind of like that about that. Like I said, I've been in all these events now because of Pete, and it's been fun. It's been interesting. But I can tell you what, these are genuine people though. They're sitting there talking to them. They're genuine people. I can definitely tell you that. You can sit back and bust it up with them. All of them.
Yeah, it's nice, man. It really is. It's nice to see people step up like this because they don't have to do it. We talked about Trump earlier. He was rich. He didn't have to do it, but he has ego.
I did it for more.
They don't have egos. They're mama bears, and then Jack and Pete are papa bears. They all have kids. Jack has grandkids, and
bro,
Jack Bangin he's turned 78. He's 78 years old. And he's a fine wine. Pete, you're watching.
Age is nothing but a number. He's a fine wine. He's a fine wine. Don't worry.
I couldn't believe it.
He's been out there more than he ain't been out there more than Pete. I ain't gonna say that. But
I'm not even going to say their age because they're women. You don't do that. But
probably no more than 21. I mean,
we got look at the beautiful two grandmothers, and they're out there moving and shaking, and they're getting stuff done. So I really hope they win. We got that election party tomorrow. They're all going to be there. And
nice.
So And we'll get to that later. On NBC News is coming too as well, which is awesome.
All right, let's go.
But-
Let's go. Let's see what happens.
And then we can go into, there we go. We got Byron Driscoll running for commissioner, and with his running mate is John Salmons. Byron is a good dude. Byron owns Mount Ruin right by here, and John Salmons, he was the sheriff before, and then he's run for commissioner. He was first, and then he lost his re-election by it was at such a thin margin. It was like a couple hundred votes. But now he's paired up with Byron. He's running. This is in Gloucester County. I think we have some more candidates that are going to pop up here. Yeah, we got Mary Wood. We got Steve Mafia. Steve was on the Jersey Shore. David Aber, who I know pretty well, he was on Jersey Shore. And we have Eric Anderson. He was on the Jersey Shore podcast. I didn't get Martin McDonough though. But still, there are 5 people running for council in Deptford. That's where our great producer, Damon Sherrod, lives, in Deptford. So, yeah. So, I mean, get all these people stepping up to run that aren't career politicians, which is a great thing. And I love seeing it. I really do. So, and then this is going to be Keith Gibbons.
Oh, yeah. That's in mine.
Yeah, they're actually having this event that we're having tomorrow, which we'll get to at Skeeter's Pub. This actually started with my buddy Len. He started this for Keith Gibbons running. He's actually running as an independent, but he has conservative values and he's trying to save the MUA. And that's when Len reached out to me. He said, "Hey, I would love to have the Jersey Shore podcast there." And so he'll be there as well. And that's Gloucester Township. He's running against, I forget the guy's first, the mayor. His last
mayor from mayor.
His last name's Mayor. So Mayor. But I forget his first name off the top of my head.
He's my mayor, and I don't even Dave. It's Dave.
Is it Dave?
Yeah, Dave. I was about to say I didn't know it, but it just came to me. It's Dave.
Okay, you're just gonna say that. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, I live in Gloucester Township. I should at least know that.
I forget his first name on the top of my head, but
Dave Meyer.
But this guy's stepping up. He's a regular guy, as you can see, and he's.
I'll meet him. I'll meet him tomorrow night.
Yeah, see him tomorrow night. He'll be on the podcast. So, but yeah, it's just awesome, man. Seeing regular people stepping up and getting involved and doing their thing. Because we were a heavily blue state. Now we're purple, and we could have Jackson really win.
We'll see. I gotta be honest. I do think that Jack's gonna win. I don't know. I don't play the prediction markets or anything like that. But I don't know. I just got a feeling like he probably is gonna win. Because history does, like, we don't go 3 years in a row with the same party. At least we haven't since, I don't know, the 60s or the 50s, something like that.
We went 8 years in a row with Murphy.
Well, it was no. So it was 8. So say 8. So 3 terms.
Yeah.
So 12 years. It's been even before that we had Christie for 8. Before that, we had Corzine, I think, for 8. What was McGreevy? Was he a Republican? Or is he a Democrat?
No, he was Democrat. And then I don't know what happened to him. He got caught in the
I do, man. That's kind of, he got caught. It was an accident, limo, a lover.
I think McGreevy, didn't he get caught in the rest stop? With.
Yeah, no, okay. I was thinking about somebody else.
Yeah, I think
someone was all involved with a limo in an accident.
Oh, that was Corzine. Yeah, he got in an accident.
Corzine? Okay. Yeah. The limo? Okay. All right. But I did know that McGreevy did have a lover involved.
Yeah, a little leg tapping in the bathroom stall.
But hey, look, I think he's running for something in Jersey City.
He may be.
I'm pretty sure he's running for mayor in Jersey City because there's I go to NJ.com every day.
Oh, because Mayor Phillip just ran for governor. He's the mayor of Jersey City. I know him. I built his office for him.
There you go.
So, but he's termed out. So, and he ran for governor and lost.
Yeah. Okay. Because there's a crowded race in Jersey City, and he is one of the candidates. I'm pretty sure of.
All right.
I read an article on that. But like you said, bro, like we don't want, like we always complain, at least the general public, at least we always, people that we go to, our family members, friends, out at the grocery store, whatever, we're talking to random people. Nobody trusts politicians. Nobody. No, that's pretty much universal that nobody trusts politicians.
You're right.
All right. No. Oh, yeah. Well, the politicians, they just lie. They just lie. And it's like, well, one, why do we accept that? All right. Well, one, I did do two. I guess two. I already said one, but like, still, it's just like, why do we accept that? Why is that acceptable? Why don't we see the change that we want to see? And that's the thing that you were talking about earlier about these regular people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that does take that. Like they might get knocked just because they're regular. They might not have the name recognition, like Peter knows going against like Lou Greenwald, whatever. But like they don't have the name recognition. But I see him as a career politician. He's been in there for 30 plus years. All right. To me, and if anything, if anybody know D6 can chime in, let me know. Has anything gotten better? Has your lives gotten better since over the past 30, or has it gotten worse? And I think it's going to take regular people to step up. I don't know. That's one thing when Pete did accept it. I think it was with Kim and you guys were all on the radio. The toughest thing that Kim said she had was finding candidates, was finding people.
Yeah. It's tough to find people to run. I mean, it was out of the blue. I got, I met Pete. We gotta
go down that road. I know people love to hear. Oh, at the movie theater, you cut off his girl. Sorry, Nora.
Yeah, by accident, but it was funny, and then he's like, it's like, I think I know your name. You sound familiar. My wife's like, oh, well, he's on the radio, and he's like, no, I don't think that's it. And then she hit me with the, she's all, not that enthusiastic. Well, he did run, and it's that's it. I voted for you. And then the next thing you know, he's on the radio with me, and then he gets a call to run for assembly, and he's like, I don't know how to run for assembly, but I'm going to figure it out. And he did. He hooked up with Jack, and like again, and they're in the toughest district out of all of them. And Nielsen are in the tough district too, but at least they got 3 towns in Gloucester, which is a little bit more red. But where they're at, it's just.
Especially it's ingrained, and like because in Greenwald, like the our assembly leader.
Oh yeah, it's been it for 30 years. They even knocked somebody out for 30 years, knows everybody. You got Pam Lampett, who was his 18-year running mate that just resigned in 2025 and went and took the county clerk's job, who's overseeing the election, who won't recuse herself. I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong at all, but it is saying the law in JSA 52. You have to look it up yourself.
No, I don't know.
But it says,
it doesn't look good. At the end of the day, it doesn't look good.
No, it doesn't. I mean, she doesn't have to, but it says she should. I mean, the law's kind of sketchy, but it's not a good look. But she doesn't have to. Whatever. I'm not saying she's doing anything wrong. Neither are they at all. But what happened in Gloucester County, with the county clerk here, they just changed about. So Gloucester County spent a lot of money to say vote this column.
I did see that lawsuit.
And then they took them to court, and the judge ruled that they legally changed the ballot because they spent like $26,000 saying vote this column, and then they broke them all up when they sent out the mail-in ballots. So they're like, whoa, wait a minute. So the judge ruled. First judge said, hey, they got you to pay back the $26,000 that they spent saying this column. And then after that, they're like, that's not enough. They need to change the ballot back. But they wouldn't let the mail-in ballots get changed. It was too late. So they changed it at the polling booths. So at least I don't
like all the mail-in ballots neither.
No, I don't either. But it's just like
another rant.
But it's like the Democrats spent $26,000 to cheat on mail-in ballots and breaking it all up and mess it up. So that's a drop in the bucket for them. They spend millions and millions and millions. So that was
one thing I said to you last night when we did get up to the thing I did. We met Jerry and Amanda Esposito. I know you guys met or whatever. I met them before, but I hadn't. But that being said, like I have seen more ads by the Democrats, way more. I'm talking about the money getting pumped in. They may have done one. I don't know. I was talking about Jerry and Amanda, whatever. If they did one, I don't know. If they did, I've barely seen it. But I've seen like Cody Miller and Dan Hutchinson.
Yeah, they had a few.
Every time I'm scrolling, every time I'm watching something, it's whenever there's an ad, it's them. They're on there. And it's the same one. If there's one good one where they're just, walk in, it's all happy, and then the attack one.
Yeah.
So and then I've seen them both on repeat, whether on YouTube, scrolling on my phone, sitting here watching someone on the telly. It don't matter. And that was one thing I was just like, they got way more like yes, Jersey is blue. So about Jersey being purple now. We'll see with this election. I think that it can definitely lean that way. I think Ciattarelli's going to win. We'll see the inroads we'll make. At least the Republicans will make in the Assembly, in the Senate.
All right, so we're going to go into let's take a quick break. We'll go in the next segment here, and because that's Mikey Cheryl.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Jersey Shore podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe, please, on the great America's Pulse Network. This is our third segment. We have Nate Thurber on here as a third hammer segment. And this one is labeled Ciattarelli Must Win. It's Jack Ciattarelli. He must win. Because we have a very horrible candidate in Mikey Cheryl. And I don't know about you, Nate. I don't think I can afford 4 years of Mikey Cheryl. It'll be Phil Murphy times 2.
2.0. That's
Yeah,
what
exactly.
the ads have been saying. Which honestly, I don't see any difference. I've been looking at it. Sorry, my cat Aries had to come in, make a little
Screen time.
Yeah, get some screen time, buddy, my little kid. But no, like it really does. Like, I don't see put like this. I don't think anything's going to change if she does get in. Like I said, it's going to be the same policies, the same attitudes, the same things that we got going on right now. And that's what I was alluding to earlier, where Jersey really doesn't go more than 3 terms of the same part. At least we haven't. And I don't know, 50 plus years, something like that. But so no, that's why I do think that Ciattarelli is going to win. It's just because people are hurting. All right. As much as they try to say the electric bills are, she's going to come in and put a stop to that. Like, well, they got bad under Murphy. All right. They did get bad under Murphy. And you're unfortunately, you haven't done anything to separate yourself from him. So everybody, as far as I'm concerned, who's been paying attention, just sees you as just an extension of him. So, of Murphy, I mean, and his policies, his administration. And if things got bad under him, so if it's going to get worse under you, at least that's the perception.
What you say about the schools, about the LGBT?
Oh yeah, and that's you're not going to be opt out. At least now, when they pass that the new sex ed requirements and guidelines in June of 2020, which they gave us a public option to give us a public opinion on it, so we could talk about it in June of 2020. I don't know, they gave us like 2 months prior to that. So, April and May 2020. I don't know what was going on, but I don't know if you remember, but everything was shut down.
It was COVID.
It was COVID. Everything was shut down. And that was in the heart of the lockdowns. All right. But that was when we got our public. Anyway, when it was passed those guidelines in June 2020, where, they're going to have kindergartners picking their pronouns. All right. Showing 5th graders how to masturbate. That was in the guidelines. All right. Having that was the other crazy stuff once you get further into high school. All right. Like, and so it's like oral sex, things like that, like things like look, yeah, we did learn about sex, we did have sex ed, all right, it was male, woman, penis, vagina, babies, and that's pretty much it. All right, we didn't. I don't know what you got, where you went. I went to Williamstown. We didn't have definitely no oral. I definitely didn't.
No,
We definitely
no,
didn't have,
no.
I didn't have my gym teacher telling me, you know, how to perform oral or how to. But like again, those wild things were in the guidelines, but they gave you the option, at least in those guidelines in June 2020. They gave you the option to opt out of it. You can opt your child out of that. And unfortunately, there is that video, that a clip of her saying that no, you're not going to. She's going to eliminate that option. You know what? We're going
to tell the parents we're going to push this.
And it's like, no, like I don't
co-parent with the government, Nate.
No, and that's a pretty good motto to live by.
So I mean, seriously,
our whole school system goes back to the Prussians, and because the Prussian emperor couldn't understand why he couldn't convince his men, his troops, to fight. He had like a 70% desertion rate or something crazy. Because you know what, they couldn't just convince. You know what, people didn't want to go to war. So it's like, you know what you got to do? You got to get the kids away from their mommy a little bit sooner. You get them in these proper schools like this. You can sit them down. They got to follow orders. They got an authoritative figure, a teacher in front of them, telling them what to do all day, when they can take a piss, when they can do whatever. All right. Well, guess what? You can convince those people to go to war for you. All right. Before that, no, you couldn't.
Yeah.
Right? And we got the Prussians. That's why we have kindergarten. Kindergarten sounds a bit German, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't let me go. Don't let me go on my rants.
But no, I'll bring up a picture of Mikey Sherrill. This is Mikey Sherrill. This is the one. Their name's Rebecca, by the way, not even Mikey. But yeah, so this one here, telling you she's going to tell me and Nate and everybody else that has kids that they're going to push this agenda in their schools. No, we're done with it. We've been fighting this for a long time. I don't want boys in my daughter's bathroom. She's 12 years old. She's having trouble with gym class because she's 12. She's like, I don't want to get naked in front of other girls. I'm like, well, I get it, but it's like, it's the same sex and all that stuff. I said, but getting her confidence up. But imagine a boy in there. I'm like, no way.
That'd be way worse.
I would.
Reassure her that she doesn't have to get completely naked in there. She can leave the drawers on.
Well, I walked her through it.
Reassure her of that, because definitely we was not swinging dicks in the gym locker room. All right,
exactly.
We weren't doing that. All right.
I told her it's like wearing a bathing suit, but a boy.
Yeah, exactly. We had our boxes on or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, but that ain't happening. You're not a boy being in there. No way.
No.
And then that's what she wants. She wants that. Like, why? Why? She has kids. Like, I mean, I don't get it.
That's just like, look, the confused boys, whether they don't need to be in there, it's not good for them either. But you're also opening up the door for perverts. All right, I do believe there are, like, gender dysphoria is a real thing, whatever. It's American Medical Association, it's mental health disorder, whatever. All right, that's fine. All right, but the kids, but what you're doing, well, first of all, the kids shouldn't be doing it in either way, and no, in adults either, men and women's locker rooms, no. But what it does, it opens the door to perverts. All right, there are perverts out there who are going to see that as an opportunity, whether you want to admit to it or not. Early on, when that Korean spa happened in like LA, and there's like Antifa riots and everything like that. Because it was a transgender who he was literally swinging his meat in front of a 5-year-old girl. And the mom got mad and they're like, oh, well, he's transgender. He's allowed to. It turns out he was like some kind of pervert. He'd been locked up for that. That came out later, obviously. Mm-hmm. But I remember at the time, the Antifa came and they rioted. No, they're transphobic. You should allow him to go in there, blah, 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 blah. And like, one, you don't even know the true facts of what's going on. And two, like, no, it just opens the door for perverts. It does do that. All right. Just like we're talking about earlier. Same thing earlier with the border. Like, overwhelming people, I believe, did come here for a better life. Like, they were lied to, whatever. All right. But it does open the door for terrorists, for bad people. The Azerbaijani dude who came, I didn't mention him earlier. But the dude who's a terrorist, he got like 13 months prison in Azerbaijan. He got caught at the border because he bragged about it. I remember that news clip. So like, no, like that was happening. But same thing with the trans issues and allowing them into the locker rooms. It does open the door, whether you want to admit to it or not. It opens the door to perverts.
Well, that's why you need more fathers in the homes too, because he's not going to allow that.
I feel like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the statistics will tell us otherwise, but I feel like a majority of these boys who think that they're girls are raised by single moms. It's just a hunch. Just a hunch. I'd be willing to bet that. But I would love to see some statistics on it.
I'm not Jersey sure about that, but I'm definitely going to look that up.
Yeah.
So
it wouldn't shock me. But would it shock you if that was the case?
No, not at all. Not at all. But we're coming up to. We're going to run over it a little bit, but we want to get into Jack Ciattarelli. Let's go pick a Jack up here. Jack is the man. Oh, that's not Jack. Oh no, that's not Jack. That's not. There he is.
Hey, Paisan. Hey,
I'm sorry, Jack. If
hey,
Cheryl up there, you do not look like Mikey Cheryl whatsoever. Maybe my producer was. We're talking about transgender, so maybe he was making a joke there. So
we had him confused.
But that's Jack Ciattarelli for governor. He lost by 3 points last time in 21, but only 31% of the Republican voters came out. Only 31%. So we need more. I'm at least half, please, and he'll win. I think he's looking good right now. They're saying he's down, 5 points, I believe. That it depends on what poll. It's like 3 to 5 points, what it may be. But Republicans always poll low anyway, and then they win. He was polling. I think it was 8 points, 21 low down, and he lost by 3. Same thing with Trump. He was polling low in New Jersey, and he lost by 5 in New Jersey. But it's just
much better than predicted.
But that's Jack Ciattarelli. That's who we need for governor, and everyone has to get out there and vote for Jack Ciattarelli. So tomorrow is election day. I hope that everyone. What's that?
No, I was trying to find real fast real clear.
Yeah, last text I got.
So I don't want to mess it up with this. Is a bit older laptop, so it's just let's not mess with things.
But yeah, so tomorrow's election day. I know a lot of Republicans like to vote on election day, but I know a lot of Republicans are doing their early voting too and the mail-in ballot. So thank you for that. But anyone that didn't vote yet, make sure you get out and vote tomorrow. We need everyone to come out. We need everyone to come out for Jack and Pete and Constance and Nielsen and Conwell and Moore and Esposito and McManus. I mean, all these South Jersey candidates and North Jersey ones too. Whoever's watching North Jersey, I'm not familiar with them. But
sorry, guys, I'm not either.
Yeah, but
hey, look, I do look. I'm pretty sure McGreevy is in the Jersey City mayoral race. All right, so look, we did get a little bit of North Jersey in there, so we tried to.
So, all right. So with that, buddy, I want to go to the Patriot, and we'll take a break, and then go to Patriots and Loser of the Week.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to Hammer 4, which is a very quick one. We just go through the Patriot and the Loser of the Week award. So we're going to roll with it right now. Let's do the Patriot. Had to give it to two people. I gave it to Constance and Nielsen last week. So Peter Sykes and Jack Brangan Patriot of the Week award. Like I said before, and you obviously know it. I've never seen it so hard. Getting out there every single day, handing out flyers, door knocking, putting text blasts out there. Whatever it may be.
Look, babe, Pete's my cousin. I've known him all my life. I used to go down to his house when we were in single digits, sleepover. Now he used to stay down by the shore, Jersey Shore. So I always stayed around here, Gloucester County, Camden County. But I honestly, I gotta be proud. I'm so proud of him. Honestly, seeing him going out there and just working hard and putting in the work, getting the steps in, which he needs to do more of. But he did a great job. He did a great job. Honestly, though, I was always proud. Like, bro, I'm glad you're out there walking. You need to do that. But no, like seriously, it's something to get him up off his ass and do something. It's for a good cause. Like he's not out there. I say he's not a career politician. He's 100% a great man, great family man, great dad. I mean, great husband to Nora, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Provider, all of that. And look, man, I'm so proud to see him grow through this entire experience, bro, from where he was back in April. I think it was April. I know it was before May, because May's when we had to do the first filing. And look, he drugged me into this and got me to see, got to learn a lot. Got to see a lot how everything's work here on the inside, the Camden County GOP, all that other stuff. And our state government, how all that works, more in-depth knowledge of that. So I thank him for that. But no, man.
Yep. Oh, Nate, you froze up there, buddy. So I don't know if you're still there or not, if you can hear me. But yeah, those I don't know, my producer, am I still on? I just want to know if you can hit me in the chat because Nate just froze. But okay, so I'm still on. Nate froze up. I don't know what happened. Maybe his cat chewed on his cable. Who knows? But yeah, him talking about Pete like that. I mean, he's okay. There's Jack Ciattarelli and my son right there, and my producer just put on. So he was so happy to meet Jack. But let's go. I want to talk about Jack Brangan too. Jack Brangan is a great guy. Nate was talking about Pete, his cousin, and everything he's done and stepped up to do. Jack Brangan is an awesome guy too. He's retired and he's fighting very hard for this assembly seat. So make sure you guys get out and vote for Jack, Pete, Constance Nielsen, and everybody else that we mentioned. Conowell Moore, Esposito, McManus. We really need to flip all these seats. And vote Jack Ciattarelli in because he's going to need those assembly people to govern properly. But I'm going to go right here now to the loser of the week award.
Losers! 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 Ah, shut up!
I still can't get over that. I love it every time. But that's Lou Greenwald. That's who Jack and Pete are running against. One of them, but he's the one that's been in for 30 years. So I figured I had to throw him the loser of the week award because he's been tanking New Jersey for 30 years. And that Jack and Pete are trying to step up and get it back. So with that, so we'll go into Seth's GoFundMe. Seth will be here tomorrow, by the way. He's driving up with his club foot tomorrow from Maryland. So, and we're going to have some fun. But anyway, just to go with Seth, we talk about this all the time. It's a GoFundMe for him because his hospital bills are piling up because he spent so much time in the hospital, had bad infections in the foot over and over again. I always make fun of him about it. I probably shouldn't, but he doesn't mind because he makes fun of me all the time. But that's his GoFundMe right there. It's his Joan Eisenberg, but it's Seth. He goes by Seth, and he's on the conservative corner under the America's Pulse Network. So I'll see you tomorrow, Seth. So everybody out there, there's his GoFundMe. And then we're going to end it with this. We're going to play a video that my great producer put together for tomorrow's event. Tomorrow's event, guys, if you're watching, it's you can buy tickets at the door at Skeeter's. You'll see it. And NBC News is going to be there as well. We're going to have a bunch of candidates there as well. We're going to have the county chair there as well. Assembly candidates, mayoral candidates, all the people that we talked about pretty much. It's going to be a great election party. And there's going to be live bands and food. It's $35 a ticket. You can pay at the door. or you can scan the QR scanner when it plays. And I hope to see a lot of people there tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be airing all night, and not really sure how we're going to do it. We're trying to rotate people in the whole entire time, but it's definitely going to be fun. But thanks for joining tonight, and make sure you like, subscribe, and come to the party tomorrow if you're local. Thank you.
No more tears, just righteous pride. In this one big voice, it's our time. Generation fighters take the stand. From shore to shore, we reclaim the land. Grit and glory in every strand. In Jersey Shore, we make our stand. Generation fighters take